Okay, so Groove Agent 5 SE comes in all versions of Cubase, all the way from AI, LE, all the way up to Artist Elements and Pro. So, amazing drum machine. Let's look at chopping. First things first, chopping. So I have this Aiming break that I resampled, really simple. Groove Agent's open, drag and drop it to the pad. The three dialogues don't mean anything right now. I'm going to be doing a deeper dive at some point, so you know exactly what they mean. But in a quick nutshell means that I can add, I can replace, and I can do chromatic across the keys. So nothing's on the pad, so it's irrelevant. Drag and drop to the pad. Choose my zoom. I can full zoom in two stages. So zoom in, zoom out. Get two types of zoom. I prefer to zoom out so I can see what I'm doing. If you find it's re-triggering the sample, then you go to sample here in one shot, and then you can do it until release. You can choose many types of versions if you want to loop a certain section, but we're going until release. That's it, until release, and then we can actually trigger it. Obviously this is what the break sounds like. So I loop up 170 and two different modes, pattern and instrument. We're in the instrument mode, and now we're going to flip it to pattern mode. In instrument mode, really simple, I go to slice, and then you can see here our transients are worked out by Groove Agent's algorithm, and that's what it's going to slice at, but it's not set in stone, so it's really tweakable as well. So you can see it all shadowed out. I create slices, there's my slices, and that's actually sliced up to the default algorithm, but I can then choose different types of transient detection. So obviously you can have grid and transient, but and even manual, but I like transient as well because it's really good to be able to pick up a lot of breakbeats that I use. So it's really simple. If you need to change anything else in there, you can change the threshold and you can change the length. So it's not set in stone. You can really customize where you want to go with that. Remove slices, all that kind of thing. It works really well. And of course, any issues that you do, anything that you change is replicated by the pads. I love that, how it's instantly picked up by the pads, what you're chopping, so you can see what you're doing, where the chops go. Build all the chops up if you need to, maybe even take them all the way up to the full length of the pads if you need to. Really great. Any problems you have, undo is your friend. We also have redo as well. So I've chopped it up here to the amount of pads that I want it to. Now if I flip to pattern mode, I get the groove. So there's real immense power here that can be used. So for instance, this is great. I love the groove. Now I want to have full control over it. I want to tweak it, make it more my own, do different versions of it, do different edits of it. And this is the power of Groove Agent. Absolutely love this instrument. Really simple. Drag it to the MIDI lane that you've created on the Groove Channel track. So there's a Groove Channel. So Groove Agent is on a MIDI channel track, and so your audio is then created to MIDI, and then the MIDI is then dragged into the MIDI lane. So it's great to be able to see the groove. Double click on it there. I can close that, and you can see here. If you find you don't see the colours I have here, you might have a velocity mode. Going to pitch is always a good one to see what keys have what samples. And if it's all a bit condensed for you as well, don't forget we have the breakout here as well, so you can break things out, and then you can zoom in and out to your heart's content and really fine tune how you want it to see on your monitor or projector or screen or laptop. So now I have the groove, I can then choose to then, obviously I have audition on as well, which is great, so this is a good one to have on. Acoustic feedback, so I can audition via the keys or QWERTY keyboard what is on which key. So it's great to be able to work out where you are if you're doing rearrangements like we're going to do now. So you might want to then rearrange this loop. So I'm going to use the keyboard, quickly randomizing loops, quickly randomizing keys, and then play it back. I'm going to solo it. I'm going to go to the actual selection and press P. Cycle markers. Cycle markers will then position along that. P is for positioning, that's it. It's cycling that loop, and then we're good to go. So that's also a rough idea. If I go back to Groove Agent 5 SE, I can then choose to then have, this is the powerful thing about it now, is I can then choose to get that groove and drag it to a pad. So I can have 16 different variations of this one break. So it keeps you creative, and if you have a break that you kind of use the same kind of pattern with, it's great to be able to expand upon that when you want to sit down and make a break, or even, you know, a track from scratch. You want rough drums to start with, rough ideas to start with. You're not stuck with this same pattern all the time. It's totally up to you where you go with this, and I can keep editing to my heart's content. And I go again, and I can just drag it to another pad. 2 different grooves. I audition with the keypads. I audition with the drum pads. And you keep going and going and going. So a really cool thing about Groove Agent as well is if I right click the pads, I can then choose a set of colour. So you can actually say, okay, these are more my sort of stronger type patterns that I'm working with. And this, for instance, might be a bit more looser, for instance, and so on and so on and so on. So you kind of where you're up to, and then maybe yellow can be the OG. So if I go to yellow here, and that is the OG pattern. And I always like to keep the OG pattern at the bottom as well. So really cool. So what's also cool is if I go back to the original pattern, if I delete that, and then I drag it back, I can say, okay, then give me the original. And here I can say, give me half tempo. And now. So now if I delete that, I can then say, okay, let's try half tempo. So if you're doing like kind of a breakbeat sort of hip hop slow down tempo kind of thing, then let's drag that to the key editor in Cubase 13. So now actually, okay, it's longer because it's stretched out. So it's actually, you can see there, it's doing double the bars. P for position, now I've got the full length of that loop. Great, and obviously you can add swing and quantize and all that kind of stuff to get the feel tighter or looser. Really, really great, powerful feature. And now I can drag that back to Groove Agent 5 SE's pads, let go, release, and then obviously it's not the original, it's half speed, so maybe I can set that colour to next to yellow maybe, for instance. So yeah, maybe like an orange, so then I can say, okay, full tempo. And then I can say, okay, full tempo, I'll take it back again, full tempo. Half tempo, variation. So you see the real power of that. So what's also cool is I can then say, okay, delete that, and this is cool for more variations. I can say, now give me the original. P for position, I'm in the original here now. I can delete the rest, and now, because I have D set to duplicate on my keyboard, you can customize loads of shortcuts in Cubase 13. I can say, okay, D, 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 drum rolls. That's a good one, good starting point. I might want to do snares, so I'll move them up 2 keys. There's the snares. So then I have the kick rolls. So let's have a mix. We'll have kick, snare, roll, kick, snare, roll, and then we'll have a kick, 2 kicks at the end, and you get this. Now I can drag that to my pad, and I have this kind of variation going on now. And now for a bit more variation, let's go to more kicks, and we're going to go to 32s on our quantize, select all, drag them back a little bit, duplicate them across. Copy them across, and now we've got more faster sort of rapid machine fire drum rolls. Great, drag that to the pad here, and so we have a variation which you can probably put there, and then we have our drum rolls here. And I'm going to colour the drum rolls, so we know that they are drum rolls, so they're going to be purple. We're going to go to set colour, purple, doesn't matter what kind of purple, you kind of know what they are then. Different types maybe, different strengths of drum roll. And then we have and there you go. And for instance, if you were creating a real strong transition, you could then maybe do that. And then you get to do a full transition like this. And so on and so on and so on. And so there you go, you can get to do real transitions, build them up when you're happy with how things are laid out in the pattern mode. Really simple, quick tip for you. If you come here, you save it as a default project, and that then means that each time you load Cubase 13 with Groove Agent 5 SE, you're ready to go with these patterns, with these samples and instruments. You're ready to roll in both modes, and you're not stuck for ideas and creativity. Your drum rolls are kind of ready, how you might want to set them out. Of course, you can expand upon them. You have free pads available to add more transitions, add more variations, and of course, when you go back to instrument mode, you can keep tweaking more and more and more, and obviously colouring your pads as well. So, amazing instrument, Groove Agent 5 SE. Hold tight for more tips and deep dives on this amazing instrument coming soon.